Alright guys, it's been a little while since I've done a video on anything besides Splinterlands or Honor versus Madness, but today we're doing a video on something that I'm getting into, and I think some of you might also want to check this out if you have some Ethereum and if you know how to get on base chain. I'll also talk about a few ways you can do that, but it is a chance to get into basically liquidy farming, but in a way that most of us don't know how to do. And hopefully, I can talk about this correctly. Now, what team would this new DeFi opportunity be coming from? Well, it would be coming from the one team that I currently trust out there, and that is the EMP Fusion team. I still am in the EMP Fusion project. I'm still earning my few cents here and there as this project is recovering and trying to get back to peg. And this isn't really the best opportunity in their ecosystem right now, which they admitted in their most recent video. But, sometimes you want to put a little bit into what's not hot because it could be hot later on. But, the EMP team, you might know EMP Fusion from our Splinterlands game. He is one of the hottest summoners right now, if you're one of my Splinterlands fans, because he's a big Splinterlands and Hive user as well. These guys do a lot. They have the DexFi system with their Vault ecosystem, which is part of where we're going to get into this liquidity farming. They have their meme token on Pulse Chain along with their Dex on Pulse Chain. I am involved in both of these. The Broke No More token is kind of something that's a little bit interesting. If you're over on Pulse, you should take a look at it. They use part of their this is like a normal meme token. When you trade it, you lose a few percent, whether you're buying or buying it or selling it. They use that money to actually go into DexFi vaults and then use the yield off of the farms in the DexFi vaults to buy back and burn their token. Little shout out to what they're doing there. This is a lot of what AJ and his team are starting to do. They're done with the idea of just making tokens, making a reward token. They know it doesn't work. They tried it again on SparkSwap. It's not working. So they're changing everything up. They also have one more here I didn't have listed. So let me go ahead and show it up. They do have what did I just press? I spelled it wrong. DEX DexSwap. So DexSwap, this is their little tiny swap that's over on the BSC chain. Really, this is only really meant for them people who want to get into their EMP token or their GG token for Honor versus Madness. This is where the most liquidity for those two tokens are and where you have to come to get them. But as you can see, they have that. And they also have a swap over on the Cedo chain. Who knows what chain they might try to check out to do next. I never got into Cedo, but I am usually following him closely because here's the story. If you don't know anything about the DexFi vaults, they got exploited, they got hacked, they did lose some money. Did the project shut down? No. Instead, they created a new way to make the money back for the community so they can pay them back. And they decided to go ahead and give us a chance to get into something that you might want to join. Okay, and what is that? We're going to go right over here to the DexFi Treasury bonds. So what are the Treasury bonds here with this 104 crazy APR that you're seeing? I mean, that sounds like pretty degen stuff, right? That's not normal. Yet look at me here with my $1,900 deposited. My head is in the way, so let me scoot over here for a little while. And within 1 week, I have made $20. Not even a week that this has been completely live. And if that continued for, every single week, if I was making $20 for 52 weeks, I would make only about $1,000. So as you can see, this APR is a little higher than what that is, but even $1,000 return would be quite amazing. Now the APR is variable; it moves up and down quite a bit. When I first got into it, it was only like a 10% APR because I got into this pretty early. They didn't deploy all the money yet. So how are they making this money? How long is this going for? And why might you want to be a part of it? They're doing concentrated liquidity farming on dexes on multiple different chains. So if you click right here on the current fund value, which you see is now $400,000, when I first got into it, it was just getting past $300,000. The fund is going to continue to grow from the assets within the fund, possibly growing. It'll shrink if the assets in the fund possibly shrink. But the fees they make are where we make our payouts from and where this APR comes from. So if you click on this, you're going to go to a nice Dex DBank, tracking of the wallet. So the wallet is public. It's a multi-sig wallet. They feel very safe publishing it, letting you check it out. Somebody's offering $1 for them, which is kind of funny. But as you can see, it lets you know, most of the money is on base chain. You can actually join this on Sonic if you want to. You could check that out, but I use the base chain, so I'm going to be doing it that way. I'm going to go ahead and move myself back over here for now, and we'll go ahead and talk about some of how they're doing some of this. You can come down and you can kind of see what they have their money in and what they're currently doing. So you can see they have, a tiny bit of Sonic. That's really probably just to be able to pay their gas fees. Tiny bit of Ethereum, again, probably on base. This will pay your fees for quite a long time. And apparently they have one Baby Soto token. I'm guessing whoever runs Baby Soto maybe sent them one token. Be interesting if DBank gave them a way to hide tokens like that. A lot of people are going to be checking out this wallet, so maybe Splinterlands should send them a token somehow too. You never know. But you can see here you go. They're in like Giza USDC Arrow over on the Arrow Dome. Now all of this stuff is a Dex vault. Dex vaults can create vaults on multiple different dexes out there, and this is what they're doing. So you can see they have 50,000 farming here. You got Banker with Wrapped ETH over there on the Arrow, so they also have the Arrow coin in that. You got this one here with Wrapped ETH, SPX. I'm not sure what token that is, again on Arrow and with ETH, about 40,000. I know one of the ones they laugh about here somewhere is like this cookie coin, but as you can see, as we get to these coins that are a little bit stranger, the amount in them goes down a little bit. I think they had one, a fart coin. Yeah, fart coin token, where they have like $7,000 in liquidity. But they were talking about how this one is actually making them a lot of money because as fart coin's a pretty popular meme coin, it's trading quite a lot. And what is concentrated liquidity farming? This is the secret sauce to their high APR. So what they're able to do is put their liquidity in ranges so that they make a high amount of fees when the token is trading within their range, if they're one of the only liquidity providers in that range. Is the loosest way I understand it. And I'm not an expert, so if I have that a little bit wrong, I'm sorry. But this is a way that you can make very, very high returns in crypto right now if you have a large amount of money, because you're basically becoming the liquidity providers. This isn't something we can all do on our own. Not all of us know even how to make a concentrated liquidity pair. If you do it wrong or make a mistake, you could lose all of your, you could have a lot of impermanent loss, end up on with way more fart coin than you meant to have. And, you could see your positions going up and down quite a bit. And you not really making money. Or you could also have your range in an area where you're wrong, the token never trades there, and you make no fees. Now, the team has been telling us over the last few years, and did that just jump up a lot? I'll have to review that. They have been earning this way for a long time, ever since they got the DexFi system going. They have an AI bot and an expert team that help find themselves opportunities, get themselves into these farms, do the V3 liquidity, and make a lot of fees. And then this is one of the ways they fund their own treasuries for their own projects and everything that they're able to build out there within the ecosystem. Now, while this is such an amazing APR, this APR is actually much higher than they are showing. And that's the thing that's kind of crazy about this opportunity. The reason they opened this up into the public was to help deal with the hack issue that happened to their site. They needed to bootstrap liquidity again, get in there, start being able to earn the way they were earning before. And at the same time, they need to pay back the people who were not there. So right now, the liquidity farming is actually in a 50-50 split. If you're somebody who was affected inside this system, then you, inside the hack of the Dex Vault system, you're going to be getting paid back from this fund. Now, the bigger this fund gets, the more money that goes into it, the more people who invest in it, the higher and faster they'll be paid back. When they become paid back, eventually it'll change to an 80-20 split where we get 80% of the profit. And so this could increase by, to probably about like 160, 170 if we were doing the 80-20 split, because we wouldn't quite go up by 80% exactly. It's not the way the math would work there, but we could be sitting there. Now, like I said, this is going to fluctuate a lot. The first day I got in, they hadn't deployed much. They hadn't done much claiming. They haven't done much of anything. And this was only at like 10 or 12%. Even that in the world of bonds is actually good, but bonds that pay like this are pretty wild. Okay, so how would you get this money? You need to get some money on Base or Sonic, and then you need to come to the DeFi bonds site, and then you need to buy some bonds. Now, when you buy the bonds, they're going to automatically stake. You can unstake your bonds at any time and redeem them. When you redeem your bonds, as you can see here, if you were to redeem your bonds, there is a 10% fee. This is to make sure that people are not actually, trading the fund if it has a really good week. Like, let's say right now, I'm gonna purchase. I have 8 bonds. When I purchased them, they were about $1,800. So I'm at about $1,900 in value here. 1915. This is going to go up and down based on the cost of these, and you're able to cash them out. And if I just went and redeemed everything here and claimed this $20 that I've earned, because at the time I did this, I think this was only $1,800, and now it's $1,900. Even with the 10% loss, I might come out ahead, but that's not what they really want, right? They're liquidity farming. They need the money to stay there. They need people to not be going in and out of the thing, in and out when it comes to their actual money they're giving them to go into positions, because that'll hurt their ability to liquidity farm. Let's face it, if Fartcoin's going to have 10 and 20% swings, and this is going to constantly be going down to from 7,000 to like 12,000 to 5,000 to 13,000, if that's the way they're trading this, they're going to be making a ton of transactional money and fees on that coin, and that's going to be great for them. But at the same time, they're going to have to pull that liquidity off and keep more liquidity in Ethereum, ready to give back to people if people are redeeming all the time. So that's why they have that 10% fee. If you're coming here, hopefully you're going to be willing to park your money here. You're going to be able to come in once a week. The idea is on Fridays, they figure out how much money they've earned. Then they epoch that out to be given to us over the week and get dripped out. And that's where this APR is coming from. So basically, this Friday, in a couple days, or tomorrow, when we hit that epoch, they're going to tell us how much money they've made in the week farming with their current bonds, and we'll get an APR number based on the fees that they were earning. And again, this APR number is halved because we're doing a 50-50 split right now. The team isn't taking any money from this until they pay back the people who lost money in the vaults. So, it's a pretty good thing. I didn't lose any money in the vaults, just to be clear. I came in and invested in this because this is basically access to almost like a liquidity farming hedge fund that I didn't have access to before. I don't know. I mean, I know the basic ideas we have behind, supplying liquidity. I know the basic ideas between permanent loss, how you can lose money whether you go up or down in your liquidity pair. which is kind of funny. You know, the only way you don't lose money at all is, and totally gain in a liquidity pair is if both tokens go up at the same time in the same value. If you don't understand those types of things, and even if you do, the idea of liquidity farming with very large amounts of money is very hard. When I come and look at these farms, you know, could I maybe put $4,000 into DRB and wrapped ETH? Sure, maybe. You know, if I really pulled a lot of my different crypto from different places, I could put in a liquidity farm near one of these bottom ranges. But then if DRB, you know, something happens, Team Rugs, you know, if this is one of their more risky plays, coin crashes, there's a big release by the team, they sell off. Well, okay, they lose $2,000 maybe when they pull out, depending on how quick they are at getting out. I mean, this is a professional team. They will be watching this 24/7. They have an ALM that is working to help them manage this. So they're probably going to get out, but I'm not, right? I'm going to be at work when it crashes. I'm going to be sleeping when it crashes. So I'm going to get stuck. Well, but look at how diversified they are. You know, none of these, they're in shadow over here. They're in this Anon token over here. They're in, like I said, Fartcoin. They're in regular wrapped ETH with the REI token. They're over here with this virtual token. They're here with the with this group of tokens. So they spread out all of their risk all over the place as they're doing their liquidity farming, and they're not really caring if the individual values of these farms go up and down. That's not the goal of this, right? Sure, in a great world, ETH goes up, everything goes up, all these numbers get bigger, but they want to be in pools with volume because they want their bot to be able to set the tight ranges. That's the thing that you can't do. Like right here, sure, I could come join these farms. I could just copy every single one of their farms. But what range are they in? I don't know. I don't know where this liquidity is, how thin their range is, how high it is. I can't sit there and track trading all day and adjust my range as the price moves up or down. This is what they're bringing to you. This is what they're giving you. They're giving you a team that will be doing this, managing money all the time, trying to maximize your yield that you can make. And this is real yield. This isn't some token they've made. They're not giving you, look, they're not paying out some imaginary token. They're paying out dollars. You know, they're saying we made a bunch of fees on this farm. That means that when we're done with the farm and we collect all our fees, we're getting some ETH, some SPX, some Arrow, some ETH, you know, some wrapped ETH, SPX, and Arrow. Well, we don't really need these tokens, so we're going to sell them for dollars, and then we're going to have those dollars to pay out to you guys. And you'll be able to see that those dollars are, you know, in the wallet as well. Now, currently, I think most of their money is deployed. They do have a deployment here with 20,000 USDC. You will see tomorrow on Friday when they do all the rebalancing of everything, there should become a little chunk here of actual cash that is used to do our payouts to our wallets. So this is only the first Friday since this started, and already, as you can see, they're flying up here to $415,000. Okay, now if you don't know how to get money on Base Chain or Sonic, I've showed you guys how to get into Sonic on a video on Rhino Bridge. You can go and look that one up. And the easiest way to get onto Base Chain really is to download the Coinbase wallet and to go through Coinbase. But Rhino Bridge will actually transfer funds to Base Chain as well. But you'll want to get yourself the Coinbase wallet, this little wallet right here. And then you can see I have my Ethereum on Base sitting right here. And then you come in here. Now, these started off being for sale for 0.1 ETH. They're actually at 0.95 right now. So they've gone down a tiny bit since this all started. We did have a slight pullback in Ethereum since everything started, so that is probably why. If Ethereum goes up a lot, these bonds can get more expensive. AJ did mention you might want to look into averaging in to your position. It's kind of what I'm doing here. I plan on growing my position in here. I don't really plan on claiming out this USDC until I have enough to buy another position, which is about $239. But I did bring in a little bit more money so that I can get more money earning and help me start to compound my earnings a little bit faster. So once you have it, you're just going to click how many bonds you want to buy. I'm going to be picking up 2 today because I have enough to get 2. Don't have quite enough to get 3, but that's okay. We're going to mint those. They're going to have a little review here. I'm going to sign just like normal. I'm going to confirm. Oh, it looks like when this updates, it might have done, I didn't necessarily mean to do that, but I might have claimed this $19. So if I did, that's not a big deal. It'll just be in my wallet, but then I can show you that I did a claim. It might, the way the contract might work is that it, when you add more or less, they go ahead and do an auto claim on your transactions. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick refresh here. Yes, it did do that. So let's go ahead and go to my wallet here. If I go down here, Ethereum, there it is. $19.85 in USDC. I didn't have any USDC currently. So as you can see, I also did a little example of the claim procedure. Now I have 10 positions. I have helped push the value of the fund up to $416. If we go over here, I don't think DBank refreshes quite quick enough. They should have a little bit more Ethereum that came into their wallet. Now you can see, I don't think I'm the only one that was buying them. I don't think, because now they're up to 4.83 and $11,000 here. So this is what's going to be waiting to get deployed, which is showing that other people are joining this. This one over here, they have it at 418,000. So they actually have the wallet having a little bit more than what the website is currently showing. So, if you decide you want to get into this, there's no referral things, nothing special. But when I find a unique opportunity, I like to share it. Now, I'm not your financial advisor. It's not financial advice. I don't know if we'll stay at this 100% APR. They did say that when it comes down to it, it's how much fees they can earn in these vaults. I do expect, though, I can just tell you, as one... the one thing you don't want to see people doing is them chasing yield too far, right? They need to balance their risk properly. You want to pay attention to what they're doing. If the most dangerous stuff they're in is Fartcoin, I'm not so worried about that. The rest of the coins I've heard of, they're relatively big on the chains that they're on. But if you start seeing a lot of stuff like Fartcoin inside their wallet, then maybe they're chasing a little bit too far. Because they said this APR, the way that their yield farming works, it doesn't matter if whether you're bear or bull. They can earn money. But it depends on how much money and the tokens that they use to earn that money. Sometimes when things are starting to look bad, you just pair up USDC and Tether, or USDC with DAI, or USDC with some other pretty safe stable coin, because people will be swapping back and forth from those depending on how they're moving money in and out or moving around. You'll make fees on those. The fees will be very small. It'll pull down your percentages, he said, to somewhere in the 20 or 30%. But that's what they might do if we go into a crazy bear market. This is very interesting, and this is, in theory, yes, a forever opportunity. The Treasury bonds will hopefully grow and pay people back. Then it will go to a higher payout to the people within the bonds. It is a chance for you to be in the fund for as long as you want. In theory, I can just leave these 10 sitting here earning me money, and I will just come back every once in a while, claim my free dollars over here on Base Chain, and continue to do that. But, hopefully you guys like this little walkthrough. If you have any questions, let me know.